다르다 어나더 레벨 하식스와 함께하는 ASL 시즌14 24강 D조 경기로 인사드립니다. 안녕하세요, 이영경입니다. 지난주 24강의 개막주차 경기들로 함께 하셨는데요. 현재까지 16강에는 각각 3명의 테란과 프로토스 선수들 그리고 4명의 저그 선수들이 자리하고 있습니다. 이번 주에 펼쳐질 24강 경기들을 통해서 16강에 남은 6자리가 채워지게 되는데요. 오늘은 D조 경기를 앞두고 있는 선수들 함께하고 있습니다. 선수들 만나서 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 네, 먼저 김민철 선수 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
이번 시즌 김민철 선수 시작이 쉽지만은 않은 것 같습니다. 이 와일드카드전에서도 16강 직행의 기회를 좀 아쉽게 놓치고 예선에서도 조금은 쉽지 않았는데 이 당시에 조금 잘 안 풀린다라는 느낌이 좀 있었나요?
근데 게임이 좀 안 풀리긴 했는데 오히려 그때는 이제 게임을 열심히 했을 텐데 게임이 오히려 안 됐고 오늘은 뭔가 게임을 좀 더 덜 했는데도 불구하고 뭔가 컨디션이 더 좋은 것 같아요.
그때 오히려 좀 제대로 몸이 풀렸다라는 느낌을 받으셨을 수도 있을 것 같아요.
뭐 그런 것도 있고 근데 저기 그 예선에서 첫날에 탈락해가지고 나 설마 떨어지는 거 아니지 이 생각을 했는데 그래도 다행히 이틀 차에 올라가서 이번에는 24강 때 좀 좋은 모습 보여드리고 싶네요.
예선에서 어려웠던 만큼 24강은 조금 수월하게 가고 싶으실 수도 있을 것 같은데 조를 보면 김민철 선수를 포함해서 저그 2명 그리고 테란 2명의 선수들이 자리하고 있습니다. 조 편성에 대한 생각은 어떠세요?
쉽지 않은 조라고 생각을 하는데 뭐 저만 잘하면 충분히 문제 없다고 생각을 하고요. 뭔가 원래는 편한 마음으로 경기에 임하려고 했었는데 갑자기 이제 오늘은 뭔가 이겨야 될 것 같은 부담감이 조금 생기긴 했어요.
김민철 선수 못지않게 긴장하고 있을 옆에 계신 선수와도 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 바로 ASL의 뉴페이스 오진식 선수와 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
ACS를 통해서 그리고 대학 콘텐츠들을 통해서 오진식 선수 많이들 알고 계시겠지만 그래도 ASL을 통해서는 또 처음 뵙는 분들도 있을 것 같은데요. 소개를 좀 부탁드려볼까요?
안녕하세요. MSG의 짭뉴다라고 하고 저거 아마추어입니다.
오늘 좀 각오와 포부가 어떠신가요?
원래는 ASL만 뚫으면은 그냥 소원이 없겠다 이 생각을 했는데 이거 올라오고 나서 지금 다들 열심히 도와주셨거든요, 연습을. 그래가지고 1승이라도 해보고 싶어요.
1승을 목표로 24강 경기에 임하실 것 같은데 프로 출신 선수들 사이에서 들리는 이야기로는 오진식 선수가 저그전과 프로토스전 정말 최고의 기량이다 라고들 평가를 하고 계세요. 근데 또 첫 경기가 김민철 선수와의 저그전이거든요. 본인이 좀 생각하는 본인 저그전의 강점 뭐라고 생각하실까요?
저 저조 못하는데. 저조 못하는데.
지금 살짝 김민철 선수를 방심하게 하기 위해서 그렇게 대답하시는 거 아닐까요?
그것도 맞습니다. 일부러 못하는 척하면서 뮤탈 스커지로 이기겠습니다.
뮤탈 스커지라는 패를 어떻게 보여주신 건데 이게 진짜 패일지 아니면 또 다른 숨겨진 패가 있을지도 좀 궁금해지네요. 옆에 계신 테란 정영재 선수와도 인사 나눠보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
정영재 선수 역시 이번 시즌 출발이 조금은 어려웠습니다. 그래도 24강 경기 앞두고 계신 컨디션은 좀 어떠실까요?
일단 요새 게임을 많이 못해가지고 옆에 그 광탈한 두 분보다는 게임을 좀 못한 것 같아서 좀 불안한데 그래도 컨디션은 좋습니다.
사실 그간 최근 1년간의 온라인상의 전적을 정영재 선수의 전적을 살펴보면 1티어 김민철 선수에게 강한 모습을 보여주셨지만 최호선 선수에게 간혹 좀 발목이 잡히는 부분들이 있었거든요. 이 조가 정영재 선수에게 막 편안한 조는 아니다라는 느낌이거든요. 어떠세요?
최호선 선수한테 좀 더 지긴 한데 중요한 데선 제가 다 이겼거든요.
중요한 무대에서는 결코 지지 않는다.
오늘도 중요하기 때문에 제가 이길 것 같네요.
자, 과연 옆에 계신 최호선 선수의 생각은 어떨지도 궁금해지는데요. 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
역시 꾸준히 본선에 함께하고 계십니다. 24강 시즌 14, 이 지난 시즌들과는 조금 다르다라는 느낌 느끼시나요?
네, 그냥 비슷한 것 같아요. 그래도 네, 뭐 결과는 달라지게 해야죠.
오늘 또 최호선 선수를 응원해주기 위해서 현장을 찾아주신 분들도 많은데 많은 기운을 좀 받으셨을까요?
그래도 JSA 멤버분들이 너무 많이 와줬는데 뭐 힘도 되는데 좀 부담도 돼가지고 열심히 노력하겠습니다.
최호선 선수는 이 예선 1일차 결승에서 도재욱 선수를 상대로도 승리를 거두셨기 때문에 이번 시즌 최호선은 다를 것이다 라고 예상하고 계시는 분들도 많은데요. 이번 시즌 16강 진출 어느 정도로 좀 관망하고 계실까요?
그래도 한 75% 되지 않을까.
75%요?
네네. 일단 뭐 영재도 게임 많이 안 하고 민철이도 많이 안 하고 두 명은 많이 하는데 뭐 짬유다는 많이 해도 비슷할 것 같아요. 그래가지고 75% 정도 되지 않을까.
높은 확률로 최우선 선수가 진출할 것 같다라고 예측을 하고 계시는데요. 이번에는 팬분들이 이 네 분께 어떤 부분이 궁금하셨을지도 확인해 보겠습니다. 먼저 D조 첫 경기부터 선수들이 단판의 동족전을 치러야 합니다. 이 동족전이라는 점도 물론 있지만 단판이라는 것도 선수들에게 부담으로 다가올 것 같은데 최우선 선수 태태전을 좀 어떻게 느끼고 계실까요?
저요? 근데 뭐 온라인에서는 자신 있는데 오프라인에서 잘 안 되긴 했어요. 그래도 근데 뭐 저번 시즌에 영재한테 지긴 했는데 2인용 맵에서 졌거든요. 그때는 뭐 하던 것만 뭐 제가 하던 것만 해서 졌다고 생각하고 이번엔 좀 빌드 갈아서 와가지고 자신 있습니다.
자신 있는 최우선 선수 그리고 약간은 부담이 될 또 김민철 선수에게도 이런 질문이 올라왔습니다. ASL에 처음 진출한 아마추어 선수와 한 조를 이뤘는데 뭐 실력적 우위에 있다라는 자신감도 물론 있으시겠지만 변수 창출 능력이 있겠다 싶어서 지면 안 되겠다라는 부담 또한 좀 있을 것 같다라는 질문을 남겨주셨는데요. 김민철 선수 어떻게 생각하세요?
뭔가 무조건 이겨야 된다라는 생각은 들긴 하는데 뭐 근데 좀 마음은 편해요. 그냥 어차피 2등으로 진출할 것 같거든요. 지더라도. 그래가지고 그냥 편하게 할 생각입니다. 네.
오진식 선수는 지금 1승이 목표라고 말씀하셨는데 꼭 이길 수 있다, 이겨야겠다라는 상대 오늘 D조에서 어떤 선수인가요?
저는 최우선 선수 꼭 이기고 싶습니다.
정영재 선수 너무 크게 웃으시는 것 같은데요. 최우선 선수 마이크를 좀 받아주시죠. 오진식 선수가 최우선 선수는 반드시 이기고 1승을 따고 돌아가겠다라고 이야기를 했습니다. 혹시 오진식 선수가 발목을 잡을 수도 있겠다라는 시나리오가 최우선 선수의 머릿속에 있나요?
그러니까 제가 뭐냐면은 약간 사정이 있는데 이게 속 사정이 뭐냐면 이쪽 뭐 그 대학교를 갈 뻔했어요. 근데 제가 버리고 왔거든요. 다른 데로. 그래가지고 뭐 저한테 이긴다고 하는데 온라인에서 진 적이 없어가지고 안 질 것 같아요.
약간 이 대학의 히스토리, 대학 간의 자존심이 또 걸릴 수 있는 두 선수의 매치가 오늘 또 과연 성사가 될지도 좀 기대되는데요. 이 대학 콘텐츠에 관한 질문이 또 올라왔습니다. 이 팬 여러분들과 대학 콘텐츠를 통해서 많이 활발하게 소통을 해주고 계시지만 대학 콘텐츠에 집중한 나머지 좀 ASL에서 대회 성적을 잃지 않을까 또 걱정하고 계시는 분들도 계시더라고요. 정영재 선수는 어떻게 좀 균형을 잘 맞추고 계실까요?
솔직히 말하면 제 게임을 거의 못합니다. 왜냐면 하루 종일 붙어 있어야지 될까 말까예요. 그래서 제 연습을 거의 못해요.
연습량이 조금은 부족하게 느껴지는 현재 ASL 24강인데 정영재 선수가 기본기를 또 토대로 어떤 모습을 풀어갈지도 좀 기대가 됩니다. 마지막으로 오늘 경기 시작하기 전에 들은 좀 특별한 응원이 있는지에 대해서도 좀 질문을 해주셨는데 이 질문은 오진식 선수께 좀 드리고 싶네요. 어떤 응원이 좀 가장 기억에 남으실까요?
오늘 ASL 16강 진출하게 되면은 저희 MSG 빵운 이사장님께서 레전더리 역캠이랑 합방을 시켜주신다고 하셔가지고 오늘 조금 이기고 싶습니다.
옆에 있는 선수들이 약간은 흔들리는 듯한 제스처를 취해주셨는데 공약이 또 있는 만큼 오늘 경기 한번 기대해 보겠습니다. 끝으로 이 D조 선수들의 각오를 청해 듣겠습니다. 정영재 선수부터 한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
오늘 마음 편하게 왔는데 마음을 좀 비우고 최선을 다해보겠습니다.
네, 최우선 선수.
네, 뭐 제가 한 3시즌인가 4시즌 연속 24강에 떨어졌는데 이번엔 다른 걸 보여드리겠습니다.
네, 김민철 선수 각오 한마디 해주시죠.
네, 오늘 이겨서 그 NS를 좀 환기 좀 시켜드리겠습니다. 네.
좋습니다. 오진식 선수 마지막으로 각오 한 말씀 부탁드립니다.
너무
네.
강하신 선수들이어가지고 그래도 쪽팔린 경기는 좀 부끄럽지 않은 경기력으로 보여드리겠습니다. 감사합니다.
4명 선수들 준비한 모습 유감 없이 발휘하시길 응원하겠습니다. 인터뷰 고맙습니다.
감사합니다.
나의 레벨은 다르다 어나더 레벨 핫식스와 함께하는 ASL 시즌 14 24강 D조 경기를 앞두고 있습니다. 과연 어떤 선수들이 16강의 남은 자리를 채울 수 있을지 지금부터 경기 함께 만나보시죠.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Group D of the ASL Season 14. So good to be back. Tastosis, how are you doing, man?
Oh, my God. I'm so happy that we're just railing through ASL cast Tastosis. Like, I'm overjoyed. But truthfully, it's like this isn't even fake. I mean, StarCraft 1 has been one of the focal points of our lives for over 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, this is the biggest tournament. This is the best tournament. And this is like, I mean, this is the epitome of the game. This is what I want to cast. This is what I want to watch, you know? And so I am digging it. We're having great games so far. A lot of interesting stuff happening overall. There are some one-sided ones in there, but that's to be expected. And now we're going into Group D, which has our youngest player, and I'm excited to see how he plays Tastosis because in the amateur circuit, you know, like the ACS circuit, he has actually knocked me out of like 3 tournaments or something. So,
that's so funny. I wasn't aware.
Yeah, no, I've played him at PC Bongs all around Korea, and he is, I mean, I haven't been able to beat him. I can't wait to see how he does here as the newcomer in ASL. Of course, that is Ojin Shik in Group D.
Yeah, this is an important day because, look, I mean, StarCraft Brood War is the oldest active esport, and by a considerable amount, and with a huge player base. We don't have a lot of fresh players that come in here, okay? I mean, there are actually many young players that pick up the game that are quite good, that are, you know, S rank and all that. There are, I think, a small amount of collegiate leagues. I think Caster Muse told me about that.
That's reviving quite a bit. There's
which I wasn't actually aware of, to be honest. That was kind of like this whole other world that I didn't realize existed. It makes sense. There's collegiate leagues for all sorts of esports everywhere, but yeah, I mean, this is a moment where we have an actual new player, and we just don't get this because the other guys that are in ASL have been playing since the day the game came out. So this is really exciting.
Yeah. This is I'm totally pumped because to watch this guy rise like this, because I think the first time I played him in a qualifier was like 4 years ago or something. Like, you know, I play all the ACS, which is the AfreecaTV Challengers StarLeague, and all the ASL qualifiers. I love it, you know, the competition and everything. And I remember the first time I lost this guy, I was like, oh my God, he is so good with mutas. How is this guy not pro? And here he is, and it shows how long it takes to break into ASL, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the strongest players on the amateur circuit for quite some time. And now, like 4 years after, at least, and obviously he was around before that, but 4 years after I first ran into him, first ASL chance. And how can he do? Tier 4, the group is really stacked. It's really tough. Like Soulkey, we've been talking about, he's one of the top 4 Zergs in the world, super strong. And the Terran players are not slouches either.
Yeah, Soulkey, always a threat, always able to basically take out any player in the ASL. There's periods where this guy looks so good, I don't understand how anybody can beat him. It's so scary. I guess we're showcasing this nice keyboard bag he got there.
Yeah, that's actually a beautiful keyboard bag.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
But yeah, this is probably... So basically right now in the Korean scene, all the pro gamers self-assembled into... these universities, they call it, for StarCraft, which is that collegiate league that Caster Muse was telling you about, where people join into these and get coached. So basically, they've kind of self-assembled into teams, like the old Pro League days. And like I heard that is taking over ASTL and everything as well, because they're actually doing battles against each other. So I think he was probably just showing off some of their merch there. I believe that's what we just saw.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, let's see what JJabNewDe can do here. You know, again, I think going up against Soulkey, it's almost an unfortunate pairing and an unfortunate matchup, if that makes sense, because I think Soulkey is very sharp and very on top of his ZVZ, and of course this matchup can end very quickly. So I hope we have a longer ZVZ. We basically never get them at pro matches. I'm trying. I think you and I have casted like one ZVZ in the last couple of years that even went to a third base.
Yeah, that's true. I can only remember one that went legitimately beyond Mutalisk Tech, played by pro gamers in the last like 6 years. Like I remember one game, and it was in a qualifier.
And about half of these games end in under 5 minutes. You know, they can be a very short matchup. So obviously, that's not exactly the best setting for a newer player like JJabNewDe to cut his teeth in, right? For him to get comfortable in this moment where Soulkey is a veteran. I mean, he practically lives on the stage. But here we are. We're going to be going into Butter to start this off. Soulkey versus JJabNewDe. Again, the loser's not out. The loser will go to the losers match. But it's a tough group, Group D. I don't know. You think he's got a chance, Tastosis?
Yeah, I think he has a chance here against Soulkey. Well, you know, it's best of one ZVZ. Let's see what he does.
All right, guys. Game 1 in Group D, ASL Season 14, starting right now. All right, we've got Soulkey here in the bottom right, which of course makes JJabNewDe here in the top right. Now, Butter. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm excited to see what he's going to pull off because obviously he's known his group for a bit. And you were mentioning, and I actually thought about it more, and I do agree that on a two-player map, because of where your opponent is and the general overlord paths, you can create some sort of aggressive play. I want to see JJabNewDe like do a crazy all-in here, man, and just try to take Soulkey down immediately.
Yeah, I agree. If I'm him, I'm not going to try to go hatch on 12 and try to defend, right? I feel like you do want to be taking the initiation here. Now, Soulkey, he's kind of the full package as far as his Zerg player goes. I do feel like most of his wins in ZVZ are very strategic and don't come down to a lot of micro. Not that his micro is bad, but he's just a great player.
Yeah. Well, Soulkey, like, honestly, if it weren't for, like, his Zerg vs. Zerg is very good, but Zerg vs. Zerg makes Zerg players a little bit less stable. The only player that didn't really lose too much stability from that was Jadong, which is why he was so legendary in Zerg vs. Zerg. But even him, it can be a problem. The greatest domination that you'll ever see in ZVZ was Jadong at one point, right, where it was JVZ, but it was mostly him winning every single time you got a build order advantage rather than overcoming build order disadvantages. Someone did the stats on that run, but it's not the same as watching like Rain play PvP or Flash play TVT, right? Like, you can be killed. Like, you are going to lose a certain number of games even if you're by far the best.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup, but I feel like almost from a design perspective, you'd want your RTS to be kind of further away from ZVZ matchups because they are so short and it's so punishing. I mean, it's a lot of times at the highest level, it's like one player plays at 100 and the other plays at 99, if that makes sense. And that 99 is that 1 point. You go, oh, well, that's it. You lost that extra ling. Your drone got sniped, and these things compound, right?
Yeah, super fast in ZVZ, much faster than the other matchups. But I mean, here we go, right? This is like a 9-tool from Soulkey into layer very quickly, sending some lings across the map. JJabNewDe has some of his own lings, bringing drones out to help defend as well, since he only has 4 lings out here so far. A higher econ build from him. We'll see if that's going to pay off against Soulkey.
Yeah, JJabNewDe did exactly what I thought he would not do, which is kind of be on the receiving end here, but he's got a nice drone split, very good placement. If one of these drones is too far out, it can be sniped, but if you keep... Oh, hold on.
Yeah, they're great at screwing up the AI because the lings literally will not attack them unless you tell them to with the other lings around. So it's smart to keep them out here, but yeah, like you mentioned, if they get too far out, that's where you're going to see Soulkey start picking them off, start taking their health down a little bit, and maybe gain the advantage there. But Soulkey turns around as his spire is being made.
Yeah, he's going to back off. I mean, the defense was actually not bad, by JJabNewDe, to be totally honest here. Now, he does not have link speed, right? No,
I believe he
JabNewDe
has
does
it
not.
on the way.
Yeah,
I
it just
think.
finished. I think
Yeah.
it, like, literally just finished because his lings are moving a little bit slower earlier. Now, there's going to be an engagement here. I wonder if it would have been a better idea for him to try to run around. You know, this is one of the features of Butter, right, is you have this big vacant area on one half of the left side of the map. So, you know, if you can just hide lings there, you get these great opportunities to counterattack.
Yeah, you know, we see a lot of times like 2 lings pull off to the side. Yeah, any map really, but yeah, Butter of course has a huge amount of area that's never used. Now, I feel like JabNewDe should be flooding lings right now, right? If he doesn't, then that means he has to go Evolution Chamber and Spore Colonies. Because Soulkey obviously going to get mutas so much quicker. Now, a great block there from Soulkey. Yeah, really, really well done, stopping those 2 lings from getting in.
Yeah, big shutdown there. You know, it seems like, you know, JabNewDe wants to try to match him with his mutas of his own. You know, sometimes we have these games where, you know, the layer is not even started yet and there's Evo chambers coming down here. I actually feel like JabNewDe, if this game goes on for a little bit longer and he doesn't die to any overwhelming lings, I think he's in a better spot. Oh, Tastosis, he's got 4 lings coming down here and there's no lings to defend.
Yeah, the Muta's going to have to stay here and kind of block everything. I'm surprised Soulkey didn't counterattack. He actually had a fair amount more lings. So, I feel like Soulkey may have missed an opportunity there to do damage. But these lings now are giving JabNewDe the time that he needs to get his defenses up. Okay, he loses an Overlord there. That's an acceptable loss, I would say, because now the spores get started. And with Soulkey not having a natural hatchery as of yet, if JabNewDe just kind of holds on, doesn't take too much damage, he can get his second gas up quickly and maybe pass him in muta count.
Oh yeah, and I mean he's already got 2 hatches, right? So he could certainly get a lot more mutas out. I mean that's double the production, especially when he gets that second gas. I guess 3 mutas is the right number to one-shot lings. I didn't quite realize that. So he's going to snipe those 2 drones there. Can't really mine minerals. This whole time, despite JabNewDe having constant counterattacks, he has not actually killed any drones, by the way.
Yeah, I noticed that. He keeps losing all the lings that go in. He's not able to get that damage. But he's not taking too much damage. He does have that second hatchery. A lot of lings right now around that spore. I feel like he's got to be careful, though, here. Like, doesn't he need a second spore in the main? Those bottom patches are really open.
Yeah, I mean, for the bottom patches, 100% he needs that. At this point in time, it almost seems like Soulkey doesn't really have to respect that defense at all. I mean, I think he killed like 4 drones back there, which is a ton. I mean, that's a huge amount. That can be like almost 40% of all your workers in some ZVZs. So, yeah, I mean, he wants to be careful for sure here. We do have the Spire done, and it looks like there's a lot of mutas that are going to hatch here.
Oh, how many mutas is he going to be able to field? Because Soulkey, his natural hatchery is being made. By the way, JabNewDe, a lot of lings on the left side of the map. So he is looking for a counterattack now that he has his mutas out. Oh! The 2 Scourge actually hit right off the bat. And it's mostly Scourge coming out for JabNewDe.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be mutas hatching, but I guess not. Scourge are going to be coming across the map here now. The lings, you know, JabNewDe's got to be careful because if these lings keep countering and don't do any damage, I don't even think he has a Sunken Colony back at his base. Like, as much as we've been talking about mutas, you can just die to lings, too.
Oh, absolutely. Even after the mutas are out, the lings can be the game changer. And he's getting a couple. Okay, he gets 2 drones so far. Looks like he'll get a 3rd. And I think that's it. Yeah, okay, so he gets 3 there.
Well, you know, the longer this game goes on, the harder it is for me to imagine a game where JabNewDe wins. I mean, he has this sort of minuscule amount of Scourge, and he keeps making those Scourge. But, I mean, Scourge alone are never going to beat mutas, right? I mean, I don't feel like we get to cast ZVZs quite like this ever, Tastosis, do you?
Yeah, it feels like he's taking an alternative approach where, I mean, Mass Scourge, Mass Ling, he does have... Well, he's had more larvae, but Soulkey is kind of caught up in that regard as well. He does have those spores, so the counters are hard for Soulkey. So he's got, like, some things going on for him. But yeah, if he doesn't start Mutalisk production, you're never going to win with pure Scourge. Like, the Mutas start to get to a point where they're going to gun down the Scourge even without perfect micro.
Yeah, well, they're going to start getting to the point where they're going to kill 3 Scourge in one shot because there's going to be so many mutas out here.
A beautiful move there, by the way. Did you see that? He was microing the Scourge, and then Soulkey had to cancel the egg because he's like, well, I'll just lose that if it pops out. So no sense to give it to him.
Now the mutas have started to pump over here. We don't know where upgrades are at as far as inside the spires, but I would imagine Soulkey has either armor or attack coming, right?
I think, I think the way that I've seen most Zergs do it. Oh, beautiful connection there. Look at that. But I think the way I've seen most Zergs do it is when they go one hatch, they skip it until they know the game is going longer, and then they go for one of the upgrades.
I guess that makes sense.
Like you said, we can't tell. Zerg buildings don't give any sort of hint that they're upgrading.
You can see now the drone count continuing to take big hits here. I just can't imagine a game where JJabNewDe just, overcomes this deficit in Mutalisks, right? I mean, if he had a ton of gas banked up, I'd say maybe, but he doesn't. He's got 200 gas where Soulkey has about 400 right now. I mean, a lot of times when one guy goes one hatch into Muta and has pressure, the other guy has 2 hatches and like 500 gas banked. And so even if, they have to basically withstand the abuse from the mutas, but then, they end up coming out and matching it, and it sort of evens out. But right now, I think we have, I think it's 13 Mutalisks total right now for Soulkey, and I think it was something like maybe 9 I saw there for JJabNewDe.
I think Soulkey is... oh, wow, that's huge. Yeah, I think Soulkey is up like 3 mutas or something like that. Which is pretty substantial. And you just said that you saw the armor finish, which is gigantic. I'm sure JJabNewDe has it on the way, though. But if he engages before that, there's just no chance to win. The armor upgrade is so powerful in Mutalisk versus Mutalisk. But look at this. He's using Scourge to try to zone things back and then hit the mineral line. But as the Overlords see him, he decides smartly to turn around. And a lot of Scourge are being made by JJabNewDe. So I think he's going to go for like one of these gigantic like one-hit punches, right? Where you fly down with your group of Mutalisks and you just have like a million Scourge go for it.
Yeah, you have so many Scourge come in there that, they have to be running, but eventually they run out of map. They end up going to a corner, and that's when you clobber them with the Scourge and the mutas. Queen's Nest coming, Tastosis.
Oh my god. That's insane. Oh, I hope we get there. That would be amazing.
Don't fight, no!
One thing I do want to mention as well, that we've run into a few times in Zerg vs. Zerg, is JJabNewDe has spores. So that makes it hard for Soulkey to finish, and he's adding some more while going for that Queen's Nest. So sometimes when you see your opponent start to change tech in Zerg vs. Zerg, you just go for the kill. But maybe with a close enough count of Mutalisks plus the spore colonies, he'll be able to just hold on and get to that next tech that he wants.
Now, I feel like, especially for you and me, we don't get to talk about this very much because we don't get these games that often, right? But I think this is one of the more exciting things about ZVZ is when it does go on for a long time. I assume this is going to be for Defiler, but it might be... I don't think we're going to have Devourers, but I just want to put out the late game text we've seen. We have seen Queens with Ensnare. I don't think it's going to be that necessarily. Oh my god!
Yeah, not sure exactly how many of those hit, but that was a cool move. The splitting of the mutas now, Tasteless. It looks like he's going for both mineral lines.
Oh, this is crazy. He's going to take out that Overlord there, too.
By
the way, I think it's going to be a Defiler with Plague is going to be the actual endgame tech to just kind of... Now, this is insane because, this is going to be at least almost all the drones, right? This is such an amount of kills. It's kind of insane. Now, that being said, I don't think these mutas get to come back home. But,
can you make it home with the other group? This group dies, but almost every drone is gone. That's insane. Oh, God, but Soulkey's going to catch it.
He's going to try to flank it here. Well, actually, the angling was a little bit off, honestly. Where's that Defiler's mount hit, or whatever the hell it's called?
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, and we haven't seen a Greater Spire yet. Soulkey with +2 armor. What a madman! He needs more spores, though, at home, JJabNewDe does. He needs... he is going to actually go towards Devourer.
What? He's going to go for Greater Spire?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, Acid Spores plus Mutas against Mutas is ridiculously awesome.
Dude,
but
he has
Scourge counter them as well, so I'm a little bit, I don't know if this is going to work, man.
Okay, I am so confused right now. Oh! Whoa! Okay, so he hits a few more over there. There is, I think, one drone mining back at home, by the way. One drone.
Soulkey has to kill him right now?
Yeah, he has to end the game right now. I don't know that he will either. I think, you know, obviously the mutas are going to kill that Spore, but he can just run the drones back. Oh, God, it's so many more mutas, though.
It is, but look at how many Spores we're getting over here.
Yeah.
We're going to be on 5 Spores in a moment. Soulkey has 2 drones total. Craziness right now. A couple Scourge come up and actually get connections. Soulkey has to win the game, man. I actually think JJabNewDe is going to take him down.
Oh, my God, he's going to send the mutas back through here. Oh, my God. Where's the drone? Where's the drone? Where's the drone? It's not in the main, so it has to be at the natural. There's 3, now 4. A 4th hatches.
Okay.
JJabNewDe
okay.
may have messed up, though, because he can't get back home with these mutas.
Yeah. Okay, he's trying to split them off a little bit. I almost feel like he should just target mutas with his mutas right now. Like, oh god, yeah, his muta's going every which direction. He almost looks like an AI splitting those.
Yeah.
He's looking for drones, but Soulkey ran the drones far enough away. Now JJabNewDe trying to remake these Spores. If he can get the Spores up at the natural, that's going to be gigantic, but his drone count's getting very low as well, and he's trying to spend them on things like these Spores.
Yeah,
I think JJabNewDe may have just thrown with that muta attack.
I think so, dude. I think that what he needed to do was stay back and be conservative and try to really take advantage of that greater Spire that he had.
But honestly, Tasteless, I have to say, like, I think that JJabNewDe has created in this game one of the most complicated positions that we have ever seen in Zerg vs. Zerg. Like, this looked absolutely insane as he was losing his natural and making mass Spores, and he has a greater Spire on the way, and like Soulkey has like 2 times as many mutas with better upgrades. Like, what a wild position. So I can't blame him too much because you can't even have practice for this spot. Oh, he's going after the drones again. Can he get him? He's sacrificing like every muta. Oh, Tasteless. Oh my god. Some of them live just barely, and JJabNewDe is gonna GG. That game was insane.
Man.
Insane. I have chills.
Oh my god. What a crazy game, man.
And he's
what
smiling.
An insane game. Well, I think he got to a winning position, and then I think he tried the same maneuver again, and we were past that point of the game. So,
yeah.
Look, I mean, that was fun. That was the ZVZ I think we've all been waiting for. You know, we've had a couple super short ones. That was exciting. And so, there you have it. I mean, Soulkey wins, but JJabNewDe clearly a real threat. Even Soulkey relieved to be out of that game. And he'll be going on to the winner's match.
Yeah. I mean, for his first game, his first showing here, I love how he played it. He brought something fresh. He brought something new. Yeah, maybe that was a throw at the end, but what a hard position to judge what to do in. And honestly, here's the thing. Even when he was sacking all the mutas, if you get Soulkey below 50 minerals with no drones, you're going to win. You know, because he can't make anything. He has to attack your Spores, and then it's probably over. So, wow, what a game. I love it. JJabNewDe, I'm a fan. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, Terran versus Terran, JYJ versus sSak.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탐스 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로, 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침은 라떼, 홀릭 점심은 라떼, 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼, 홀릭 둥글하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 칸타타 라떼 홀릭.
형님들 아프리카에 승부의 예측 생긴 거 아세요, 여러분들? 아니 e스포츠 여기 탭에 있잖아요, 여러분들. 아니 이게 새로 생겼더라.
저는 광동에 올인했어요. 아 진짜요? 네. 아 그럼 전 DRX에 올인. 모바일도 똑같이 아래 가운데 보면 e스포츠 있어요. 잼이라는 포인트가 있어요.
아프리카 내에서 쓸 수 있는 재화라고 생각하시면 돼요. 잼을 사은품으로 교환 가능하다고요? 이 잼을 응모로 다 할 수 있어.
키보드는 벌써 나갔네.
아이폰 갤럭시 탭. 아 이게 200잼이야? 교환까지 할 수 있으니까 형님들 아프리카 승부 예측 많이 사랑 부탁드립니다. 받아보세요.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be going into this TVT momentarily here, but first we want to say thank you guys so much for supporting us on Patreon. That is patreon.com/ASL English. Nowadays, this is the way that you can support us. Since AfreecaTV is no longer sending us to the studio to do it there live, we do it with these recordings, and then you guys support us and the people that edit this and translate it.
Yeah, and thank you guys so much, because this is just the greatest StarCraft tournament out there. Having a great time with it, and I mean, the fact that this game, which is right now 24 years old, is literally having young new players join into the top ranks and bring a game unlike any that we've ever seen. That JJabNewDe game, that was a gem. It gives you like renewed. And here's the thing, Zerg vs. Zerg is like the worst matchup in StarCraft 1. And still, we just had a sick, exciting game from a brand new player against one of the best pros in the world.
That's
so,
right.
like, I mean, StarCraft 1 is the gift that keeps giving.
And now we're going to go to the other worst matchup in the game, Terran vs. Terran. Let's do this. It's going to be a great day.
Oh my god, those are fighting words. This is a wonderful matchup, and I am excited to be casting it with you, Tasteless. JYJ going up against sSak. This is actually a really awesome match. So, like, as far as overall Terran rankings go, these guys are both probably about top 6 Terran in the world. Like, sSak is very quietly up in towards the top. Whereas JYJ has kind of become one of the front runners of the race, right? With Flash in the military, it's like Light Rush, Flash. I mean, Light Rush, JYJ are kind of the 3 Terrans that we see doing well in ASL. But sSak, I mean, this guy is really, really strong. He's quite original. He has his own style, and he's actually like... he influences the metagame more than most of the other Terrans. Like, he actually is kind of like the original, one of the original inventors of like 1-1-1 against Zerg. He plays a much more technical style. Really, really fantastic player. So I think that this TVT is going to be quite fascinating.
It should be a fun one. I'm not really sure who's favored here. I guess maybe JYJ, but I guess he just played a little bit better than sSak recently. So I think it's a fairly tough one to call.
Yeah, it definitely could go either way, but I would favor JYJ. The young Terrans are very good at getting that map control with the more modern builds, whereas sSak, it's hard to say what he's going to do. You know, the older Terrans kind of are stuck in their ways a little bit. So we'll see if he tries to battle for that map control. All right, in the bottom right, we have JYJ. And the top right, we have sSak. So TVT on Butter, we saw an amazing TVT here the other day with Royal against Sharp. That was like a really fun, awesome match. And this is honestly like a match that's kind of similar to that, where you have the older... maybe overall more accomplished, but more stuck in his ways pro, going up against the young gun, right? And we saw that Sharp was able to... A lot of people in the audience, by the way, for this ZVZ and TVT day. But, you know, we saw Sharp able to overcome Royal, but it felt like Royal was supposed to win that game. And I have, like, very similar feelings here, where I would say JYJ is probably... supposed to be able to win this. Like, his mechanics are probably going to just be a little bit stronger. But sSak is a resourceful Terran, and let's see what he's going to put out.
Yeah, this should be a fun one. I think this is just a cool map for TBT in general, to be honest. They're both gonna... Okay, this is funny.
Yeah. The thing is, when you see this, like, you notice how they both kept going for a moment, then both turned around, and now both are going to go scout. So what they were trying to do was forward 11 racks, because that's, like, the best of all worlds. You can go for your factory expansion, and also pressure your opponent with that racks, like in case they went for a fast expand. But when you see each other's SCVs, what you want to do is you like go past, so you're trying to bait them into starting their barracks, and you go back and attack the SCV, and they're screwed. So they both did that to each other, and then they're like, okay, let's just go scout each other. We have to build these at home.
So funny, these little mini games that happen here. I don't know how much space is available to build on the left side of the map, but you got to wonder if that might have been worth it for one of them to try to send it over there. Then again, I guess we'd have a game where they're both forward 11 racks, and that could be kind of weird.
Oh, yeah. That would be like one of those StarCraft 2 matches where both people go Proxy Reaper, and you're like, wait, what? What is supposed to happen here? It's kind of crazy. But he throws this down in the corner. That was like a smart location from sSak, because you're just trying to throw your opponent off a little bit. JYJ takes his gas, but it's a lot later. So he's going to be going for a much faster command center here.
Yeah. And I think, I actually kind of can't believe what I just saw there. That's so funny. He just dropped the SCV to another SCV. Keep in mind, SCVs are a little bit different from drones and probes in that they're not actually good at pursuing other workers. So, whenever you see anything die to an SCV, it's always surprising. And that includes other SCVs.
Yeah, they're actually like range 0, so it's like very hard to actually get them to hit. They're like the true melee unit that doesn't have melee attack. But look, here it looks like the factory is pretty quick still from sSak, and he's going to go ahead, throw down his command center. And I'm interested to see if he goes Vulture first here, or if he just goes add-on. He probably should be going add-on.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Vulture first. And,
okay.
Well, with the Vulture first, like, I don't think you're going to be able to, but when you go Vulture first against someone who went, like, Gasless Expand, which is basically what JYJ is doing, even though, like, the build is slightly different from that, like, you generally try to run by, because if you get a Vulture into their base, you can get massive damage done. But if he has 3 Marines in the bunker, like, the Vulture basically explodes. It can't really get past, especially if SCVs block even for a half of a second.
Yeah, it's pretty much not worth it to try to send it through there if you're going to do that.
Yeah. Like, if you get a really fast Vulture, like super fast off of 11 gas or something, maybe you'll be able to get it in, and that's amazing, but it's not likely.
And we've got 2 factories coming down now on both sides, and I would imagine this is just going to be that Vulture arms race we've seen several times before here in TBT.
Yeah, it's quite likely, and in this case, you can actually match Vultures as sSak. Like, if your opponent goes Command Center first, you actually can't keep up. Oh, wow, he actually blocked the scouting of the Command Centers. That's kind of nice. But when it's Factory Expand against Gasless Expand, you can keep up on that Vulture count just barely. But let's see, he's getting his barracks in here now. And he's going to see that it's 3 factory. Like, you know that a factory's already done. That's
right.
You're not fooled by not seeing it. You're not like, wow, why is his factory only finishing at 5 minutes? Wow, I guess he's really bad being in the ASL. But yeah, he's going to know that this is 3 factory Vulture. And now we get to see how sSak wants to react to this.
Yeah, well, it's important to note sSak is now going to have the mines put out here for the contain. This has no impact on other Vultures, obviously, that they don't set off mines, but it does allow you to basically see movement, which is pretty important.
Yeah, that's actually unbelievably powerful in Vulture versus Vulture if you have mines out in the map to just see where they're at, because like there's always something you can do. Even if they have more Vultures than you, if you see those more Vultures coming, you can get yourself into a position where they can't kill you.
Yeah, you can make your army into an arc or something.
Yeah, or like you can... Something as simple as putting a depot in front of your Vultures, like the other Vultures basically can't kill you. It's so hard to do. It bottlenecks everything. It screws up how they attack. So I love the mines that are out here from sSak. He's looking very strong so far. And look at that. He's actually got the speed upgrade very quickly as well. But, I mean, you got mines and speed already. You're playing against someone who went for the gasless expansion. JYJ probably will get like slightly higher in the vulture count, so he might be able to take map control in a little bit here.
Yeah, it seems like it. That Barracks is going to come poke back in here again. Keep in mind that a third base on this map, it's not the easiest thing to just go up and take. So we tend to see a lot of powering and TVT on both sides here, you know, as there's no moment to comfortably try to take a base right away.
Yeah, and we actually saw up there that sSak, and yeah, he's going to run into these Goliaths. And that he actually got supply blocked here. So he didn't start a Wraith or anything, but oh, it looks like he's going add-on anyways. Sometimes you go 3-fact Vulture against 3-fact Vulture, and then you pop a Wraith out, and it actually does a lot of damage because you're trying to slow your armory as much as possible. But he's going to get a dropship here, and since he has like a little bit of map control right now, this is actually a really smart play because JYJ is going to be putting his units towards the front, trying to break through mines and make sure that like tanks don't come down, for instance, which might open up a really strong Vulture draw.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you need to tear open this contain, right? Even if it's just mines. But yeah, I mean, a big drop at the main, that could be huge. I already feel like sSak's playing just a better game overall here. Oh man, one of those mines actually hit that tank. Again, you gotta be careful. I actually tripped myself out. I thought that was the mine of sSak for a second. I'm like, why is it not going off? But yeah, it looks like that dropship's going to be coming out here now. And, you know, right now it's really just JYJ trying to play cleanup outside of his base. The main is pretty naked, to be totally honest.
Yeah, see, all his units are in the front. This is like a very normal thing. So this is going to trick out JYJ a little bit. sSak looks like he's about to get a pretty big advantage. Now, the Vulture's actually running around. He's leaving the dropship for now. He'll probably try to draw his attention elsewhere and then drop in. And if you do not see this right away, you'll lose just about every SCV in your main.
Yeah, you got to be really careful. And so we already see sSak trying to draw some attention over here to the center of the map. sSak taking that third base, by the way, in the upper left. 2 Vultures are going to scout that now.
Oh, very nicely done by JYJ, slowing that down a little bit. He drops this outside of where they will attack so he can get them right in. And here we go, going after the SCVs now. Let's see how quickly JYJ actually sees this. He is bringing units back, and still, that's a lot of damage from sSak. There is no question sSak has an advantage this game.
Yeah, that was a lot of kills there. And, oh, I'm sorry, there's actually even still a Vulture in one of the inside the dropship. So nicely done there. You can see the SCV count has greatly thinned out. You know, honestly, if we don't see a win coming up here for JYJ, this game can't go on forever. Another big Vulture drop over here. You know, I guess he doesn't have mines or anything to plant next to that tank. But again, just sort of keeping JYJ on his toes here.
And taking this very forward position as well. Like, he's just trying to annoy him and get his tanks up onto that high ground ledge. That ledge he's on, like, that is really forward. We were talking a lot about controlling the boomerang at higher supplies in Sharp versus Royal, but look at where sSak has actually sieged up. Like, that is so forward that it kind of protects the boomerang. There is another lane that could be traveled up, but it also kind of threatens a counterattack if you move too many units from your natural area.
Yeah, it's a good point. JYJ has actually stretched out a little bit on the map here, although I'm not too sure on that very far left lane leading towards his base how safe he is. It looks like he's going to skirt some tanks over there and Vultures and Goliaths as well.
Yeah, but sSak comes up with the counter. Siege is on that high ground and targeting down his opponent's siege tanks. Beautifully done, but that's a lot of Vultures from JYJ. He goes in, lays the mines, and he is going to be able to clean this up.
Kind of a stunning victory there by JYJ. It looked like it was going to be much worse. JYJ is going to lose his tank down here. I'm sure he's got a Goliath somewhere though, that can clean this up. The only thing about the Wraiths is their air-to-ground attack. It does such little damage that if you have anything that can fight it, it has to leave, basically. It's not a... It's really not a fighting unit.
Yeah, literally it can beat 2 Marines, but it gets wrecked by 3. Just to put that in perspective.
Which is crazy when you think of the cost and everything.
Yeah. But look at this. The Vulture's trying to raid down here. sSak trying to get a bit more damage, but JYJ blocks that one pretty quickly. sSak bringing more tanks down now as well. sSak has been, like, very forward this game, man. Like, he is all over the place trying to get damage.
Yeah, a lot of... well, hold on a second. Oh, he doesn't have any more mines inside of this tank, but... It seems like just barely sSak may be able to come in here and just deny the third. And not being able to get a third in this matchup is usually how, you know, everything kind of dries up. If they both get a third, then the matchup will go on for a long time, though. So let's be ready for that as well.
I think he might be overextending just slightly. Like, JYJ... Ooh, the mines actually end up hitting, but JYJ comes up. We're so close to JYJ's rally that any of these attacks into that area from sSak are going to be met with a lot of units from JYJ. So sSak does get pushed back into the boomerang. And, you know, this is... I think this is a more appropriate place to stand, right? Like, it's far enough away from JYJ's rallies that it's not going to make as big a difference. sSak can hold it a bit easier. And honestly, he's taking his 4th base behind this, so is JYJ, but there is more map control from sSak.
Yeah, there really is. And that's going to strain JYJ here. If you look at this in kind of a big picture thing, ignoring the 2 bases in the middle left and middle right, both of the areas that sSak can expand to, which are just north of his main, and then to the very bottom left corner there, which I guess he actually is expanding to, they're very reachable right now for sSak for where his contained position is at. Like, he doesn't have to do much work. And if you really just kind of look at the mini-map overall, JYJ has almost no map presence at all. He's already starting to get smothered.
Yeah, a little bit. But there's still some play here, right? Like, sSak doesn't have everything sewn up tight. So JYJ has some opportunities to take some other lanes, to try to move into some areas. And honestly, once you get your 3rd gas up, you can produce a lot of dropships as well. So that might be something that they've started at this point.
Okay, so another big win here. Almost no losses literally at all there for sSak in that engagement. That's going to open that up. And this is big, man. He's going to kill the SCV before I can finish the command center. Oh, my God. That is the worst. Because now that has to be canceled. Even if he does reclaim that area, he won't be able to use it until another command center finishes. That's huge, man.
Yeah, that's a pretty big moment right there. sSak has really taken control of the middle lane and the left lane, and I mean that just leaves the right. So JYJ, do you send units towards the right and try to take that over? We saw that he was actually researching Cloak. That's not going to work out well for him because I already saw Valkyrie for sSak, so he's already ready for that air transition. I am not liking JYJ's position right now. I know that they're very close into supply. The economy's not that much bigger for sSak yet. It's not like game-endingly bigger, you know, at the moment, but his position is amazing.
Yeah, I'm kind of blown away by how good sSak is at TVT compared to JYJ. I thought this would be like much closer, and this is like so one-sided. I'm kind of stunned. A pretty bad overextension here for JYJ. He does deny the command center, but that doesn't matter when sSak is this far ahead. So it's not really an eye for an eye here as far as, you know, denying bases. Yeah. Now, the 4th base that JYJ has taken, this is probably the hardest location to attack into on the map on either side. But sSak's about to go there, so let's see how this pans out.
Well, JYJ at the same time, since those tanks are over there, is going to try to break uphill here, and he will be able to do it. The efficiency is okay, actually, with it as well. I thought it would actually be a little bit worse, the break for him. But not great targeting there from sSak. And now some Vultures running in. Now, if JYJ can break open this side, you know, the game becomes a little bit closer.
Yeah, I mean, if he could actually wriggle free from here, it's going to be something. The problem is that there's so many layers of high ground that you have to keep working up to in this map. Like, you break that high ground, and it's like, yeah, but what about the one after that? You know, and that's on the boomerang that we've talked about. And, I mean, you know, TVT controlling the middle of the map is already so punishing, but it's, I think, you know, all amplified quite a bit on Butter here.
And sSak moving in once again. A good amount of Vulture tank, able to break this smaller position of JYJ. JYJ's having a hard time at things this game. His natural is being taken over. If you get a contain up there, like, nobody wins from that position. If you can't freely move your units out around your bases, I mean, it's even more powerful than in Terran vs. Protoss. You know, like, there's not some great way to get your units to those other spots. And sSak coming in with his Wraiths and Valkyries. I think that this is the finishing move right here to kill those dropships.
Well, that, and also now you can't get out of your base. So all he has to do is fork off some more tanks and send them to these other locations. And I mean, there's just not a lot of opportunities here for JYJ. sSak with like such a commanding performance here in this TVT. I'm really blown away. Super impressed.
Yeah, it was really fantastically played. Like, the fact that he went for that Vulture drop and that allowed him to get into a nice position was really awesome. He macroed very, very strongly throughout. And yeah, it just felt like JYJ never got a solid footing in the game at all.
Yeah, it really, you're totally right. I mean, it like started out with those mines being planted and then the drop, and it's like every step of the way, sSak has just continued to keep that lead further and further on here. JYJ taps out. And this means up next, man, we're going to have sSak versus Soulkey, man. This should be a really fun match to cast.
Oh, yeah, that one is going to be really interesting. That is the butting of heads of two very different styles in that matchup. So that is going to be a lot of fun. I think that JJabNewDe is probably going to be a little bit scared here with JYJ going down to fight him, because JYJ has one of the cleanest, best SK Terrans in the world. So that's going to be a tough one for our newcomer. But this match, sSak, just looking amazing. Fantastic play.
Yeah, props to sSak, but the next big challenge, I mean, this could be a tough one, man. I think Soulkey's still probably favored here, but sSak could surprise us again. He's really on top of his game today here.
All right, let's go to that quick commercial break, Tasteless.
I'm like, if you say so, Artosis.
Yeah, I get to call these things nowadays. All right, we'll go to that break, and when we get back here, sSak versus Soulkey.
아침은 라떼, 홀리 점심은 라떼, 홀리 저녁은 라떼, 홀리 둥글하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀리. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 칸타타 라떼 홀리.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탐스 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로, 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
시야 확보를 굉장히 잘해놨어요. 스타포트의 위치마저도 시야 확보가 되는 그런 위치.
그렇죠. 네. 요동선으로 벽 붙어서 올라가면은
바로
네.
추가 팩토에 늘어나고 있습니다. 확장. 오. 마치 프로토스가 시야 확보를 해주면서 주력 병력들 바꿔주게 내보내 놓고 테란보다 먼저 확장을 늘리는 형식으로 오히려 테란이 그렇게 앞서가고 있습니다.
만들어 주거나 정면 돌파를 해야 되는데 이 수비 라인이 가기 싫게끔 지금 상황을 계속 만들어주고 있습니다. 이동간에 결국 상대방의 뒤를 잡아서 황급히 시즈 모드를 하게끔 상황을 만들어야 되는데 자 위로
탱크가
자 뒤쪽에 근데 뒤쪽에 시즈 모드 풀려 있는 거
풀려서
아래 위쪽으로
여기 탱크라인 무너뜨려야 되거든요.
네.
라인이 없죠?
벌처가 없어요. 벌처가.
네, 그럼 밀어야죠.
자 위쪽에 잘 올려놨고 탱크를 엄청 많았는데 벌처가 좀 부족했어요.
또 와요.
네.
지금 이 기회입니다. 시즈 모드가
아주 좋거든요.
네, 자, 을 이용해서
올리고 난 이후에 추가 병력.
한 번만 버티면 되는데요, 김성현은.
네.
자, 이사의 미라이 뚫어버려.
자, 그리고 마이 끌고 들어가고 마이 걸쳐 날려버리고 다 일병도 내려오는 것을 못하게 해야 됩니다. 드라군이 입구 쪽에서 버텨주고 나머지 병력들 생산된 걸로 이 세시쪽 커맨드 센터를 들어버려야 됩니다.
확살내야죠. 확장기지 하나 끊어야죠. 못 먹게 만들어줘야죠.
자, 다시 올렸고 올리는 거 이거 스테이시 스피드는 대단히 좋은 상황인데 결국 들었어요.
자, 마법은 기가 막히게 들어가고 있거든요.
많지는 합니다. 한 번 제대로 올리면은 이쪽 지역 커맨드 센터도 띄울 수 있는 병력 규모이긴 합니다.
병력이 왔고 왼쪽에 있는 병력이 이제 밀어붙여야 되는데 벌처들 많습니다.
숫자가 많지 않은데 자 질럿이 여기서 버텨주느냐가 중요하겠죠.
질럿이 버텨주니까 미니까.
네, 커맨드 센터 점사에서 깨는 것이 일단은 베스트인데 이 정도. 깨는데요.
깼어.
다시 12시.
자, 양쪽으로 흔들기 작전 들어.
EMP 맞았어요. 세시 쪽에 마인으로 수비가 잘 됐기 때문에 큰 병력의 이동 없이 세시 쪽 들어오던 병력들은 일단은 잡아먹었었고.
지금 이제 슬슬 파고드는데요.
병력 뽑기 진짜 힘든 구간에 접어들었습니다, 테란.
자, 프로토스는 올라갔어요, 이 언덕 위로.
셋이 또 두드리고 있어요.
지금 이 지역 확장, 자, 별거 아니라고 생각할 수도 있겠습니다만 굉장히 중요하거든요.
왜냐면은 12시 쪽에 확장 기지가 말랐기 때문에 그래요. 이거. 위에서 병력들 또 뛰어오거든요. 프로토스 병력 또 뛰어옵니다.
옆구리.
옆구리.
벌써 압록하죠.
제대로 올렸습니다.
한 20분 제대. 자원줄 깨고 진영 무너뜨리면서 이 프로토스의 마련 마법까지 보여주면서 승리 2대1.
What's up, everybody? We're back, and we're ready to have one of these two players advance on into the next round of the ASL. It's going to be Soulkey versus sSak, and I'm pretty excited for this one, man. Enough of these mirror matchups. Let's go to TVZ. We're going to go to Skull and Crossbones map. Let's go.
Yeah, it kind of is. Neo Arkanoid. This is a very old map, and a very insane map. For those of you who don't know, this was played in the pro scene for quite some time. Some of the most legendary games ever were actually played here because it's so crazy. You're basically on an island to start. It's a 4-player map. You have 2 bases inside your base that you can take, but they have a bunch of like cocoons there that you have to kill that have decent health, like 250 health or something. So you have to clear quite a bit to take those. And the metagame became such that people would even build a nexus next to them because it's just so good because no one can get to you. Now, the middle of the map can be opened up. There's all these temples and like these weird Terran power reactors, whatever they are. So you can eventually kill your way into everything, but there's obviously drop play. There's all sorts of things that can be done. And it's just an insane map, and we're going to have an insane game.
Yeah, this is one of the maps where it's going to be... It's always going to be wild, right? I don't know how educational it is for those that are here to try to like get builds on ladder, but maps like these are important because they allow us to explore not just the races in the game, but the way the game itself can be played by having these like blocked off expansions and this excess of destructible buildings. And I'm glad we never have too many of these maps. I was worried for a little bit ASL was starting to get a little bit too crazy with Coven or Coven or however you say it, and Sparkle.
Intercoven.
But Intercoven, thank you. But yeah, this should be fun. sSak going with cape mode here with the jacket. I like it.
I love that. Oh, he's just the right Terran to wear a cape.
Yes. Not all Terrans wear capes, but sSak does.
Yeah, I'm so surprised it's this map, man. Like, what are these guys going to do? It's really, really hard to say. sSak is very good at mech against Zerg, so I'm imagining that's what we're going to see. This is a mech map, 100%. So it's going to be a big, long game, I think.
All right, guys, we're going to go into our third best of one. One of these two players moves on to the next round of the ASL. The other goes to our fifth best of one in the final match.
So we have Soulkey in the top right. And in the top left, we have sSak. All right, so a couple things to think about, right? First off, you'll probably just see Command Center first and Hatchery first near the things that you're supposed to kill. The Chrysalis, I think they're called. And specifically with Zerg and Terran, it doesn't matter as much that you're building off-center Command Centers or hatcheries, because obviously you can just build another hatchery. It's a production facility as well, so no problem. Once you kill those off, just build another hatch. And with the Command Center, you can just lift it off and move it.
Yeah,
right.
Protoss certainly have a problem if they have to do that, because having 2 Nexuses at a base is not beneficial.
No, it's kind of crappy, but they do it anyway on the map because it's so powerful, right? Like you can't. It doesn't make too much sense to just tech up into like a 1-base Reaver drop, and then your opponent has like just enough to hold it, and they have like twice as many workers as you, and you're like, oh no, I lose. Okay, pool first from Soulkey.
Yeah, a pretty quick one here too. I'm guessing 1 hatch. Well, let's see if he takes gas, but I am imagining 1 hatch lurker.
Well,
is that good on this map?
No, I don't think so. I think he's gonna get Lings out here and maybe kills Chrysalis. Maybe he goes like 1 hatch Muta. Soulkey sometimes does crazy cheese. Yeah. And the thing is, you know that sSak is that Kongmin?
It's Kongmin, yeah.
Nalra, one of the greatest Protoss of all time, in the audience. That's really cool to see. He's a commentator nowadays for various games.
Mostly
does League.
I think. Yeah.
I
think he streams
one of the nicest pros.
Oh yeah. He was one of the guys we got to be buddies with a little bit when we first came out here.
Yeah.
He was the first pro I got to meet when I did BlizzCon. I got to hang out with Nalra and have a drink with him and talk to him. I was fanning out.
For sure. So here we see sSak actually opting for the barracks first into the command center, and he'll get his gas after that. But yeah, it looks like Soulkey wants to break through the center immediately. So this, you know what, Tastosis, you might be right. It might be 1 hatch lurker. This might just be that Soulkey, like, look, his Overlord's flying around trying to figure out where this is at. But if he figures out exactly where sSak is at and goes right there and starts breaking temples, like 1 hatch Ling lurker against the fast command center is going to be very tough to hold.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. 1 hatch lurker is actually one of the oldest cheese builds in the game. It does pop up, I want to say, like maybe once a year, maybe less. Maybe like, I know that's hard to sound. It's not a great way to say it. Less than once a year, but I mean, like sometimes every few years it comes up. But it's just literally like if the fastest way to make lurkers. A lot of times on land maps, it was used with like 9 full speed, and then if they contain you, I'm sure people on ladder have experienced this. It's not the most uncommon cheese, but occasionally on these weird maps like this, it's a viable strat because lurkers can tear down stacked buildings very quickly. And on these maps where you're tempted to take a quick base and there's no obvious entrance, this is really where you can be punished.
Yeah, he's actually just going to kill Soulkey. There's no way for him to actually hold on here. Like, you can build the bunkers, but lurkers outrange bunkers until the Marine range upgrade, which takes,
that's right.
It takes a long time. That's it. That's the game. So this game that we kind of hyped up and I said was going to be really exciting and long and like mech versus Zerg. This is what it is. Soulkey literally went 9 pool on what is basically an island map and broke through like 4 buildings in a row, scouting sSak first, and kills him.
Yeah, he's just going to murder this bunker.
Superb game, Taste. It's my favorite game of ASL.
Man. Show this game to your friends.
Yeah. I play at least 2 games that look like this every day, Tasteless.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the real experience.
Oh, yeah. No. Just dying to Lings is part of just facing off against Zerg where you're like, huh, those things seem pretty good. I understand they cost 50 minerals and they come out in pairs. Is that true?
This is so funny because like sSak is trying so hard to make something out of this, but when he sees the Hydras come in, it's going to just be hilarious.
Oh, it's brutal. GG. All right, sSak, after that amazing TVT, he's going to be going to the final match now. Soulkey moves on. I gotta say, you know, it was kind of a funny showing from Soulkey. The ZVZ left more of a mark on me than that game did, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, Soulkey, everything went perfect for him. sSak was doing what he expected and what anyone would expect. And, like Soulkey scouted him first as well. So there's just like a lot of things that went right for Soulkey there and not right for sSak. But, well, good planning. Like, I mean, Soulkey's a championship caliber player, and this is part of why.
Yeah, you can really see why. We're going to go to an interview now with Soulkey. Let's see how he's feeling. He is moving on to the next round of the ASL, leaving us with 3 players left in Group D.
네, ASL 시즌14 24강 D조 경기 함께하고 계십니다. 오늘의 첫 번째 16강 진출자 저그 김민철 선수 만나보겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
네, 감사합니다.
늠름하게 가방까지 딱 메시고 16강 진출의 소감을 당당하게 밝히기 위해서 또 이렇게 오신 것 같아요. 소감부터 여쭤볼까요?
오늘 그냥 제가 예상한 대로 좀 게임이 흘러간 것 같아요. 그래서 제 예상은 솔직히 오늘 10분 안에 게임 끝날 줄 알았거든요. 네, 근데 생각보다 좀 길어졌던 것 같은데 오늘 그래도 기쁘네요.
오진식 선수와의 첫 번째 경기에서는 사실 이 철벽이 아니었다면 살짝 어려웠을 수도 있겠다라는 생각이 들 정도로 오진식 선수의 이 빈집으로 뮤탈로 드론을 계속해서 줄여주는 플레이가 조금은 까다로웠을 것 같거든요. 어떠셨어요, 플레이하면서는?
너무 당황했어요. 그래서 나 이거 지면 안 되는데 이런 생각을 계속했는데
네.
어떡하지 하다가 그냥 에라 모르겠다 뮤탈 갔는데 운이 좀 좋았던 것 같아요.
최우선 선수의 승자전 경기에서는 원서치 이후에 바로 저글링 난입으로 끝내는 굉장히 승부수를 던지는 빌드를 선택을 하셨어요. 준비를 해오셨을까요? 이 맵에서?
이 빌드는 이제 저희 한두열 선수가 추천해준
한두열 선수의 추천이었군요.
오늘 경기 거의 다 이제 듀얼이가 좀 도움을 많이 줘가지고
네.
사실상 듀얼이 덕분에 올라갔어요.
여러 또 동료들의 도움을 받아서 김민철 선수의 이 철벽 능력까지 발휘해서 가볍게 16강에 진출하셨습니다. 이 가방을 딱 보면 감사의 인사를 표하고 싶은 분들이 굉장히 많으실 것 같은데요.
너무 많은데 하기가 힘드네요. 뭔가 이게 어떤 말을 해야 될지도 잘 모르겠고 그래서 일단 그냥 뭐 간단하게 대학 얘기를 좀 하자면은 저는 NSU에 남고는 싶습니다. NSU 덕분에 방송도 되게 열심히 하고 잘 돼가고 있으니까요. 뭐 그것만 알아주시면 될 것 같고 이 가방 이제 저희 유소나 전 구단주님이 해주신 건데 가방 너무 잘 쓰고 있습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 또 오늘 응원까지 와주셨는데 이 응원에 힘입어서 이번 시즌 역시 16강에서 또 뵐 수 있게 됐습니다. 16강에서는 아마 더 많은 팬분들, 더 많은 동료들의 응원을 받으실 것 같거든요. 16강에서 어떤 경기 펼치고 싶으신지도 한 말씀 해주시죠.
오히려 이게 마음을 편하게 먹으니까 게임이 잘 되더라고요. 원래 사실 제가 만약에 연습을 했더라면 이런 부드러운 류의 빌드는 안 했을지 않을까 이런 생각을 하는데 오히려 마음 편하게 하니까 이런 빌드들도 쓸 수 있게 됐고 좀 잘 될 것 같아요, 이번 시즌.
네. 어디서도 어떤 상황에서도 흔들리지 않는 철벽 김민철 선수 과연 이번 시즌 어떤 행보를 이어가게 될지도 기대하겠습니다. 다시 한번 진출 축하드립니다.
네, 감사합니다.
자, 이렇게 D조에서 가장 먼저 16강에 진출한 김민철 선수와 함께했습니다. 이어지는 패자전과 최종전을 통해서 오늘의 두 번째 16강 진출자가 가려지는데요. 경기들 잠시 후에 함께하시죠.
실성사이다 제로.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탐스 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로, 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침은 라떼, 홀릭 점심은 라떼, 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼, 홀릭 둥글하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 칸타타 라떼 홀릭.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to get a do-over for that TVZ. We're going to try to do it right this time.
Unfortunately, not on Neo Arkanoid, as they both veto it. Very different players from what we just saw.
No shockers there. But we are going to try to have a TVZ that at least we get to see, you know, Zerg make more than 3 buildings. How about that?
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, I would
fun.
enjoy that a lot more. You watch, he just goes Ling Rush, and that's it. But
it's a 4 pool. I'm like, huh.
It's only 2 building stasis. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So TVZ on Allegro. It's like the most standard map, really, in this season of ASL. So I feel like that makes it. Well, in some ways, that would make it more favored for JYJ. But honestly, JJabNewDe probably plays a hell of a lot of ladder, right? So this is very similar to Largo, so I'm sure he has good experience playing on this map or maps like this map. Let's see what his standard play looks like, because I think this game will probably go standard.
All right, guys, we're ready to go to this elimination match. Which of the 2 players is going to be knocked out? Who's going to go on? Face off against sSak. We find out right here, right now.
All right, so top left, we have JYJ. Bottom right, we have JJabNewDe.
Excuse me. Yeah, let's see what happens here. I would imagine this should be a more standard game. JJabNewDe's already really surprised me with his ZVZ. I mean, to be honest, I think he could have beaten Soulkey back there. And I think if you can beat Soulkey, especially in a ZVZ, you're probably a pretty good matchup against anybody.
Yeah, this could be tough, though, because JYJ gave us, in my opinion, last season, the best overall Terran vs. Zerg game that we've seen in years. Like, his game against Soma on... What was the name of that map? Like, not Multiverse, but maybe it was? Anyways, the weird space map that he played against Soma was...
Oh, I'm too bad with map names. I can't remember.
Yeah, but from head to toe, that was the best SK Terran that I've seen in an extremely long time. I've actually rewatched that VOD multiple times just to watch the beauty of it and kind of study it. So JYJ, if he gets into one of those standard games, he is like brute force, unfathomably strong. It's like watching Light play. It's amazing. So, yeah, how does JJabNewDe actually try to face something of that power?
You know, one thing to keep in mind is that, like, when you saw that game from JJabNewDe earlier today, like, I think some of that was nerves. I think a lot of people, especially in high-pressure games, whether, you know, you're moving up on the ladder or you're actually, like, at a LAN playing, but you, like, have a winning position and the adrenaline's going so fast. And, like, what he did is he tried to do the same winning sequence twice, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I actually relate to it. I think a lot of people do, where it's like, He sent all his mutas across the map and killed all the drones, and that was like the play, right? And then for some reason he just like did it again, this time for 4 drones, and it's like, no, that's not. You don't keep doing this. That's, you know.
Yeah.
But had he not done that, I think he might have been able to pull it off. But look, that really does come down to nerves, and you know that's really why we're all kind of watching JJabNewDe here. By the way, it doesn't seem that nervous when he's on camera. It didn't seem that nervous in the interview, but it is daunting. I mean, even, you know, Tastosis and I can both tell you our own experiences of going, whether it's Korea or outside of Korea, and competing, and kind of the all the weird feelings you have to deal with, you know, really being watched in person. I feel like we probably have less of an issue with that now since we've done so many just shows like this. There's some similarity, I guess.
But anything you take seriously and really put yourself into, if you have to go and actually compete, a lot of people have problems with that. Like, it's a tough thing to do.
Performance is hard, and you know, with both StarCraft 1 and 2, like it's these really legendary people that, you know, you eventually, it's like characters in a drama, right? You've been watching these guys for a decade or more. You know, StarCraft 2 is 24 years, I think almost 25 years old now. You know, and you got to think of, and look, some players still do struggle with anxiety or just, performance issues in general. But for the most part, these guys are all pretty cool under the gun, Yeah. But, with JJabNewDe, that's the thing we're kind of watching for is how well is he going to play, because he's at a huge disadvantage for that. And as much as you would think, well, I mean, if you play all day, why can't you just play that well at home? It's such a weird experience, like being on a stage at a computer that's not your computer, with a camera in your face. Remember, there's a cameraman behind the camera. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of weird parts to it. The soundproofing is a different experience than if you're just at home in your living room or bedroom or office or wherever. So I just want to put that emphasis out there and I think when people come to ASL or GSL or any major StarCraft event, you see it live, you kind of go, oh, that's pretty different. That really is a pretty intimidating thing.
But hold on a second here, Tasteless. He actually slips a couple lings in. This is very good for him. For JJabNewDe to get up here and get this scout. He actually gets an SCV with the lings as well, which is amazing.
He's going to get out with one ling here. This is crazy.
Oh my god. I mean, he's playing pretty well, despite everything we're talking about that normally affects these new players. But that was a really powerful scout that he just got, because JYJ is doing a build that's not that normal against 2 hatchery Muta. He went for very fast +1. So what we'll probably see from JYJ, most likely, will be 4 barracks +1 Marine Medic. It could end up being 5, which we almost never see against the 2 hatchery. But what JYJ is trying to do here is put on an unbelievable amount of pressure, which probably has to do with exactly what you were just talking about. It's a newer player, and against newer players, the more seasoned veterans love to just apply consistent pressure of attacking. And that's exactly what this build is meant to do.
Yeah, especially when you're uncomfortable being attacked over and over again and having to really rely on micro. A lot of times that's where someone kind of freaks out and makes a mistake or miscontrols.
Yeah, people over defend a lot in tournaments because it's like, oh god, this is coming, like it's scary. Whereas if you're playing this on the ladder, you're like, yeah, no, this is fine. I micro my mutas and I get lurkers slightly faster.
Yeah,
but
it's
here
like
it might be
the fear of just losing immediately. It makes you almost overreact.
But so far, I feel like JJabNewDe has been a pretty cool customer here. So let's see what he gets done. His muta's actually getting here before that first turret's done. Very nice so far. And runs away appropriately. Okay, very good. Very good first pass on those mutas. Like a couple SCVs. He's checking what's going on. He sees the Marines up here. Kind of keeping him back. Look at this. He's engaging at the ramp. That's exactly what you want to see. Flies by. A couple SCVs going to be taken down here. Yeah, gets the turret. Oh, I love it, Tasteless. He's playing very nicely so far.
Yeah, and he's really not overextended even once. Interestingly, JYJ is just pulling out. He's heading to the south here and going to try to push, and I feel like this is going to give, honestly, JJabNewDe a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah, now see, a Ling was there and saw the Bioforce, so JJabNewDe is just trying to figure out where is this Bioforce. This is the important thing, because JYJ, this is a great way to defend against Mutalisks, is to just kind of roam the map with your Bioforce. And he scans there. He's going to go for it. But JJabNewDe, I think he can take out this set of Marines.
Yeah, it's not big enough. I think you're right, Artosis. JYJ is controlling very well. He's basically charging at the mutas when they turn to him. Oh, does he actually... Yeah, he's going to kill that Marine. That's so... I don't know what happened. The muta ran away for a second. But yeah, he's not able to
there was
confirm.
Actually... There was an injured muta that went over there to heal, I think. And then another muta came as well.
Got it, okay.
I think he sent one because it's very normal during this type of situation for the Terran to just split 2-3 Marines off and go towards the extra base because you can just kill all the drones. But here, JYJ starts to rotate down more towards the natural. Another group coming out. I feel like the best play for JYJ here would be to join these 2 groups, but it seems like he's just going to push. He's going to push 2 locations at once right now.
Well, this is extremely risky for JYJ because there's a chance he doesn't make an impact anywhere. But looking at that third base, I don't see any lurker eggs over there. I don't see anything to defend. We do have the hive, I believe, started now. But Okay, this is actually crazy to me. I mean, he's like JYJ may end up winning on both fronts, actually.
Yeah, he's dealing enough damage. This has already been worth it. But JJabNewDe is going to clear this group. The top right group is going to kill his third base. And you can see that the plan of JYJ has actually worked out. Like, honestly, if this happens on the ladder, I think JJabNewDe has a much higher % chance of holding both locations. But he didn't quite do it here. Very good pressure from JYJ. And suddenly JJabNewDe is in a pretty tough spot. But he has a lot of Mutalisks here. So I think there is still a little potential right now for him to do something.
Man, I don't know, dude. This is pretty rough. He's going to try to just kind of slam the main, but you can already see turrets are up. There's enough Marines here.
Yeah, there's over a group of Mutalisks, but it does seem like there's just enough Marines, just enough turrets here that he can't really get much done. And there is a counterattack going towards his natural as well.
Oh, man, and just hearing that many Mutas die here. I actually think we're almost out of this game, Tastosis. I mean, it's a long walk home. He can run right up the ramp here, too. Just gun down the few lings that are actually here. And look, there's so many drones in the main that can be killed off right now. I feel like JJabNewDe might want to tap out, honestly.
Yeah, there's nothing left for him, and that's it. All right, JYJ does take it and goes to that final match. I think JJabNewDe played very well for his first ASL, honestly. I think he was doing well at the beginning. He did well against Soulkey, and I think this guy has a bright future.
Yeah, I think so. I want to see more of him in future ASLs, but it's going to have to be next year because JYJ took him out. And now we've got a rematch here for the final match of the evening here with sSak and JYJ. Let's not forget, sSak really murdered. I mean, he got cheesed out by Soulkey, but honestly, sSak was looking very scary in that TVT. It will be on a different map, and so maybe JYJ can come up with something, but I don't think it's going to be an easy road for JYJ up ahead.
No, certainly not. sSak is a force to be reckoned with, and it should be a tight one. I'm interested to see what their vetoes are. I think JYJ will get rid of Neo Arkanoid, so we might end up on Sylphid, which might be his best chance. But looking forward to that. JJabNewDe, a nice first day. I'm happy with his performance overall, and I think he can learn a lot from it, come back maybe stronger next season if he can make it in once again. And, yeah, I mean, a tough group for him, no doubt.
All right, guys, short break, and when we come back, we finish up the final match of Group D.
상큼함 맥스, 칼로리 X, 맛있는 탐스 제로. 요즘 제일 탐나는 제로, 탐스 제로. 같이 떠나볼래?
아침은 라떼, 홀릭 점심은 라떼, 홀릭 저녁엔 라떼, 홀릭 둥글하게 달콤하게 라떼 홀릭. 달달한 충전이 필요할 땐 칸타타 라떼 홀릭.
All right, guys, it's time to close out Group D. It's going to end on a rematch, a TVT. We had, honestly, I think, maybe the ZVZ so far was the best game we had because we just don't get games like that. But the TVT was very good.
Yeah. Honestly, the ZVZ was my favorite game tonight, I think. That was a really exciting one. But between these two, yeah, the TVT sSak kind of did dominate. It looks like we're going to be going to Vermeer, which is a pretty big map. There was a Sylphid veto. I actually didn't catch it, but I imagine it was sSak. That would make the most sense. He doesn't want to play a macro machine like JYJ on a map that open and that small. So, yeah, Vermeer, I think, is going to really test these guys. Vermeer is like just the right size that everything is good here.
Sure.
Like command center first, which makes the proxy barracks good, which makes the factory expand good, right? Like you can literally do anything on this map.
It's one of these maps where there's a lot that goes into the opening, for sure. And there's a lot of different games that can be played from the given openings on all the different sides. They make for very interesting mid games. So let's see what we're going to get this time around, guys. Last game of Group D, TVT. One Terran is going to be eliminated. The other one is going to move on to the next level of ASL.
All right, so JOIJ here in the top right. And in the top left, we have sSak. So horizontal spawns, not as far as they could be from each other. And yeah, the really interesting thing is to see what they open with here, right? Because I guess it's much less likely that we'll see like an 8 barracks, any play like that. But you can see the 4 to 11 racks. That's more popular at the pro level. Tastosis, they're pointing at you, man.
I know. I got scared.
Why do they keep pointing at you,
Why are these girls
Tastosis?
pointing at me? What's going on?
But yeah, it's like to see the speed of the command center. Do you go factory expand or do you go for a quicker command center than that, whether without gas or command center first? Because that's what really dictates early game Terran versus Terran.
Yeah. With both of them sharing the top here, and this map being rotationally symmetrical, is one spawn better than the other?
Yeah, I would say slightly. JYJ's spawn here would be slightly better because the main base is more open, like the backside of the main base to drops. But the map is big enough, and the third base is there, so it's not as simple as that, right? So it's not a big deal. It's not something I would really think about, whereas some maps I would... Like, Sylphid is smaller, and there's nothing, like, blocking it, so there definitely you have positional advantages. Like, if someone's 12 versus 3, the 12 is a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But here, yeah, the map is big enough that it's not as big a deal. Now, we see both of them going for those 4 to 11 racks. sSak's is a little bit further out. It's always funny to see stuff like this, like because here's the really funny thing, because there is rock paper scissors just like in PvP and ZVZ with TVT openers, where like factory expand smashes any quick barracks play, like double barracks in the center, it's almost a free win, and then like single barracks, you're ahead. But like if you do something like this and they went like 8 racks or double 8 racks, you just die because your Marines are in the middle of the map, you know, and they have like 4 times more. So it's like a funny thing where you actually weaken yourself against what you're good against to get stronger against what you're weak against.
Yeah, it's so funny how that works out. Well, I don't know that much is going to come here. Well, maybe I'm wrong, actually, because the Marines are actually going out on the map, so there's a chance that, like, if sSak makes a couple more Marines, he may have a pretty good surprise attack. This isn't exactly what he set up for, but it could be kind of an interesting moment here, where you're just, you know, not expecting that to be in the middle of the map like that.
Yeah, there's actually some scouting going on from JYJ with his Marines, and he misses it right there. So the Marines of JYJ are like really out of position. There goes the barracks. So this is, this is a nice little pressure play. This isn't going to end a game or anything, but look at how annoying that is. Like if you force them to come down and fight you, because if the barracks goes up, you're just really far behind.
Oh man, it looks like the JYJ's Marine does get the kill there.
Dude, he's not taking this seriously enough.
Yeah, I'm a little bit stunned here.
Wow.
You know, having the bunker up, man, I mean, we're a long ways away from siege mode. Not that you need siege mode to kill a bunker, but you kind of do. I mean, you can have a tank shoot at it, but you need real damage coming out.
Mm-hmm.
The tanks do outrange bunkers, by the way, guys, on siege.
Yes, that's right. So they will kill it eventually. Now, he tries to do it himself, but the Vulture is out. It's just too late. Like, sSak had this timed. You can see that he had it prepped, and then it happened to JYJ, and he's like, I'll do the same thing, but it's no longer within the time frame that you need it to be.
So he did dodge the Vulture, but as he comes down with these 2 Marines, there's another Vulture already here. I mean, nothing's working out for JYJ here. Like, there's been a couple pretty huge, catastrophic moments here. And it now, I mean, you know, positions in TVT, they get pretty sticky once they're set. And so, I mean, I think this is going to be a pretty uphill fight here for JYJ. The game's far from over, but it's already extremely difficult for him.
Yeah, it is. This is a bad position. The tank does pop out. Maybe, like, I don't know that he needed to do this with the vultures, but it's okay. He is going to go ahead and harass these SCVs quite a bit and get a few kills. So, like, when you look at it purely monetarily, definitely worth. But I think what we're seeing from JYJ here is he'll go 2 siege tanks and follow it up with vultures, and he's going to try to utilize that as his advantage. Like, he'll knock down the bunker and then go for a counterattack immediately.
So with the 1 SCV here, it's still a bit of a headache. 1 SCV repairs fast enough that you have to kill the SCV, right?
I think you do have to kill it. I think if you don't, it's you will only kill it after like a million years. But, yeah, very annoying. As the second tank comes down, obviously this will be cleaned up pretty quickly. You want to run from here. Okay, nice moves, but, oh my god, mines are already up.
Dude.
Mines are already up. Dude, sSak has done such a beautiful job.
If he's not careful, both those tanks are going to be old news. Oh! That's
Jesus.
huge.
It's a good thing that didn't explode. And look at this. sSak is following up with a starport. Oh my god, and with the add-on as well. This is wild what we're watching here, honestly. This is one of the best prep openers. You even see where his depot is. It blocks the barracks from landing to stop units from coming out. sSak, I'm getting chills. This is like making me think of like when you watch professional chess where the commentators will be like, oh my god, it's all prepped. Like, look at this. He's got everything set. And that's what you're seeing from sSak here. Like, he has so much prepared to actually get ahead of JYJ here. Dude, he is crushing right now.
Yeah.
He even has the Wraith coming out. Like, the Wraith hard counters what he forced JYJ into, the 2 siege tanks. It's like, you don't go 2 siege tanks and you're like, I need a Goliath with this. That isn't what you do. And now, like, the 2 tanks come up, and there's mines here, and, oh god, oh my god. sSak is so good. It's ridiculous.
He's so on top of it. It's kind of crazy. I mean, I feel like we only see, like, Terrans like Flash play this flawlessly early on in TVT. You know, and TVT's always, you know, historically been a kind of a messy matchup. But man, this is some clean play coming out of sSak.
It's amazing, and he's even holding the Wraiths back. So he's sieged up. He's keeping a very defensive stance. Even though the mine hit, a lot of times the mine will hit there, and you'll run out with your vultures to try to snipe it. But he knew there might be enough vultures back there to punish him. So he's sitting contentedly behind his mines in siege mode. 2 Wraiths are going to be out. Dude, like, he is just destroying right now. JYJ has to be really frustrated. Everything has gone wrong for him.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty brutal. Again, though, JYJ's not out of this yet. I mean, he still has a chance, but again, positionally, it's very hairy here for him. So sSak's now got the Wraith coming in here doing damage. I'm sorry, was there an armory? Oh, there is an armory. It's actually covered up by the upper right tab. I was going to say, Goliath should be coming out now.
Yeah, and the Wraith will fly out of there. He has the add-on now, and, I mean, you can go dropship from here. You can eventually go cloak from here. It's really up to him, but JYJ kind of has to counter everything. Now, JYJ is getting a lot of mines down, which is very nice. That's going to give him a little bit of safety, a little bit of advance warning before sSak can really go across the map. And we'll see what he can do with that, right? Like, I mean, TVT is a matchup that allows more comebacks than most matchups, honestly. Even when you get behind, there's still a lot of play. Like, you have the ridiculous speed of the vultures, and their counterattacks can knock out a lot of SCVs. You know, you put your siege tanks in the right location, and suddenly they just don't die and keep you alive, so you can fight back as well. So, I mean, maybe JYJ can fight back.
Well, this little area over here, the steps, the lead up, controlling that is huge in these positions. So another big victory here for sSak, having control of that high ground area. We've got another engage down here. Seems like somehow sSak is going to win that. I felt like I saw JYJ having more vultures, but I think the pairings were a little bit weird. It's so funny.
There was also a tank that was in range, so we had one siege tank hit there. So then he's like, "Oh crap!" It's because that was the beginning of a good fight for him. Now JYJ just going to scan. He's going to go ahead and move down into this area a little bit, clean it up. Like sSak has that forward area. Oh, he's starting to move forward now. sSak is pushing. He's getting all of his units together.
Yeah, he's looking for a fight, Tastosis.
Yeah, and there's 2 Goliaths here with range. If somehow he can kill those, he's got like 3 or 4 Wraiths with Cloak right now, but he's waiting to show them. Comes in. All right, another Goliath comes down, and oh my god, these 2 Goliaths might end up dying, and then his Wraiths become very strong.
Yeah,
trying to walk forward.
Oh, that was an overextension for sure.
Yeah.
There's no other way to say it. And now I think we've seen the first big blunder of the game. Now the Wraiths can come back out here and demolish the squishy army of JYJ now. But again, a bit of a misstep there.
It's pretty big that he ended up losing Goliaths, and you saw that sSak that was one thing that he was trying to do there, even though it was an overextension. Now his Wraiths do gain a little bit of value at least. He can gain back some of that damage that he took, but a couple Goliaths come out. If it was just one, then this becomes a very good position for sSak again, but JYJ too smart for that. And look, I mean, still sSak I would put as in a better position overall, but you're right, that overextension, that hurt him. Like, if he had sat back a little bit more and just reinforced, I think we'd be looking at this spot and saying, wow, sSak's up 20 supply, man. That siege line is not breakable. He has Wraiths for anti-dropship. Looking good.
Yeah, that was... I mean, it's definitely evened this game out quite a bit here. I mean, he basically lost this huge tank lead. The Wraiths did okay, but, you know, anything more than, like... I think he had 4 Wraiths there, but anything more than 1 Goliath, and you have to basically run away. Like, Wraiths are only good if they're just not able to fight you. Then you can dish out a lot of pain. And so, you know, the third base for JYJ is mining, and I don't know what's going on. It seems like sSak has been late to transfer. Actually, I see on the minimap, just now the transfers arrived.
Yeah, sSak is kind of notorious for late expansions. Like, he really prefers to play with tech to kind of, you know, get his upgrades, get his high-quality units out and play around with those and expand a little bit later than every other Terran. But he's got his third up now. He's walks through a mine right there. He is starting to make things like dropships, so you know, he is definitely one of the big dropship Terrans along with Sharp. Like, he really likes to set up strong drops.
Well, sSak now has a pretty nice arc still around here. So, I mean, the map control is still going to him. But, you know, the thing about this map is that this map is huge, man. There's a lot to try to cut off here. But since they're both at the top, the important part of the map is under sSak's control, for the most part. But I don't see this game necessarily ending anytime soon either, right? I mean, I think there's a lot of room for these guys to keep growing and fighting.
Oh, absolutely. Like, sSak has the advantage, and he's still being pretty active. Like, we see him with the dropship out here, even though JYJ has beautifully placed Goliath there to try to block it. But JYJ has enough that there's, you know, a lot of things can still happen in this game, that's for sure.
There's the vulture drop from before!
Yeah, well-placed turrets, though.
Yeah, actually just well-placed everything. He can't really move his way through that little ant farm position and try to do much damage.
Well, a good try from sSak. It's okay to lose a dropship like that. It's not that big of a deal. You're looking for that damage, and yeah, it kills a couple SCVs, sees what's going on, the timing of the science facility. It's relatively valuable stuff. And he has been making more Wraiths throughout this as well, by the way. So that's something that if JYJ does not keep tabs on, as this Wraith count grows, now this group of Wraiths, I mean, they can take out a fair amount of Goliaths, right? Like, they fly in cloaked. They might be able to kill the defense line.
Yeah, I don't know about these Wraiths attacking the barracks and then cloaking, but everything else is looking pretty good here for sSak.
Yeah. Oh, man. The siege tank count is dramatically in favor of sSak right now. Look at that. Only a few for JYJ. He's bringing some more up right now to reinforce that line, but he's getting pushed pretty far back. Every inch of map really does matter in Terran vs. Terran.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. I do want to point out that one way this could end up being closed out is if JYJ drops his tanks. Because there's such an overwhelming amount that we're actually just seeing him kind of leapfrog these tanks forward. And, I mean, this is like 3 times as many tanks here for sSak, if not more now. And then the cloaked wraiths that are not attacking and still cloaked. I don't know about that, man, but everything else looks pretty sick from sSak.
Yeah. Okay, they do start to come in. Ooh, the Goliath Strike is finally time. There's also Valkyries being made for JYJ, so that'll shore up his Wraith defense. But really, right now, he just has to worry about getting enough tanks out to stay alive. And here's... Okay, let me just throw this out there. sSak needs to not attack forward anymore. He needs to just reinforce that line, because this is how we see pros throw, and really anyone throw Terran vs. Terran, is they get into a position where they are ahead, and they're feeling good, and they're making progress. But if you start attacking into tank lines, that's where you lose all that. So I really want to see sSak just kind of buckle down here, right? Like, put 4 or 5 more tanks here. And then suddenly JYJ looks at that and says, well, I guess that's just there for the rest of the game.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's, does he know about the Valkyries, by the way? He doesn't, right?
I don't think he's seen them, but I'm not entirely sure.
sSak's going to try to overpower him here. Is this going to work?
I mean, it's as inefficient as you can get. It may work. We'll see. He's trying to throw these mines down. And it looks like he's just going to break the top part. The bottom part was a little bit too strong. And sSak does have +2 against +1, so that's pretty big as well. But you can see, like, that was more efficient for JYJ. JYJ is actually up in supply after that attack, and suddenly he has more tanks. This is exactly what I did not want to see sSak do. Like, if you just have that position where you can threaten doing what he just did, JYJ has to leave the same amount of tanks as we saw there, basically, right?
Yeah.
Because if he moves them, you do that move and you crush. But if he doesn't move them, you're like, I'm still going to crush. It's like, well, no, they're in siege mode. It's really tough to pull off.
Yeah, it's like the one way that he can basically get himself behind here. He's going to come down now. Again, I feel like an overextension here. I mean, basically, JYJ can just be on the receiving end and pretty much be fine. Again, the Valkyries have not made their appearance just yet, but these Wraiths are going to come in here now. Oh my god, if he could actually get the Valkyries, and he will.
Oh my god.
This is crazy.
Yeah, there was only a little spot where there was detection there, so the Wraiths wreck the Valkyries.
That's crazy.
Oh,
it's the first time that's
so
ever happened in StarCraft. That's so funny.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, that's the cloaked sneak attack right there, man. The cloaked units are pretty good. You know that well as a Protoss player.
That's
Even
right.
if they have the detection,
they're very good.
yeah. It's too bad didn't throw that scan down in time. It would have been definitely like sSak would have killed, or JYJ would have killed every single Wraith there if he had scanned, but didn't happen. sSak took the opportunity and it paid off.
He's still looking for somewhere he could take a fight. Now, you know, with the Wraiths going to continue to dominate here, even if sSak is overextending, I don't think that JYJ can break out of the contain as easily. A lot of this was kind of hinged on the Valkyries killing the Wraiths and then, you know, JYJ swinging the game from there. But now we're going to see this huge positional smother. And I like this, by the way, just moving in with the tanks and planting the mines. I think in some moments that's a lot better than trying to siege at a distance and then running in with the vultures and they all die. And then, like, half your tanks stay out of range and don't do anything.
Yeah, a lot of times it is better to just move up with the whole army, especially against something smaller like that. And sSak takes a pretty big edge here once again. He's killed off a lot of siege tanks. He's slowed down the building of that base. And now the Wraith's going to work once again.
Well, the dropships are going to come out once more. And, I mean, this is a rough game here. He's starting to kind of circle around. Oh, no, he should unsiege that. There's mines here, too. Oh, God! Oh, that's like the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
Oh no, it's like the end of a Quentin Tarantino movie, man. Everybody's just getting killed here.
Losing all the dropships as well. The position really is becoming smothered. Like, JYJ, how does he get out of here? How does he do anything? Like, he's got to have Goliaths and mass tank everywhere, and he just doesn't have enough units.
Yeah, this is getting pretty bad. He's basically circled around here, and now he can hit this base in the center right. There's no way for Terran to expand to the bottom right. And it's subtle, but if you look in the bottom left, we're already seeing sSak kind of grow in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's taken over just about everything in the map, and now he's going to start eliminating some of these turrets. He's got a Vulture in there that's already harassing the mineral line. No real way for JYJ to defend that. He's sending out a couple dropships, but look at sSak over here with 5 dropships. Whatever JYJ drops out of there, sSak can just go kill it with his own.
Yeah, it's such a minuscule amount he's moving with. This is 126 supply to 173. Plus 3 attack, plus 2 armor to plus 2 attack, plus 1 armor here. sSak ahead in just so many ways. And when you have more dropships, you basically just chase their dropships and then drop on them and kill it.
That's right.
There it is,
And
GG. sSak does it again. He is going on to the next phase of ASL, and you want to watch out. Oh, here comes his friends. That's so funny. Yeah, he is going to move on. And let me tell you something. Watch out for this guy in TVT, because he's looking to be extremely good.
Yeah, his Terran vs. Terran looked just immaculate today. Like, the amount that he was prepared for that Vermeer game was shocking. Like, he had every move planned, and it worked flawlessly. Like, he got so far ahead. Then he kind of blundered his tanks in, and like JYJ fought back reasonably well. But sSak just showed today that he is stronger TVT than JYJ.
He's
There's
a much
no
better
real
TVT
question there.
player. Yeah, especially in the early game. He knows how to set everything up nicely. JYJ is clearly a very strong player, but you know, you got to be a good TVTer if you're going to move on. And I hope we get to see a couple more TVTs from sSak. I had a lot of fun watching that.
ASL 시즌 14 24강 비조 경기 모두 함께 하셨습니다. 오늘의 두 번째 16강 진출자는 바로 테란 최호선 선수입니다. 지금 바로 함께 하시죠. 축하드립니다.
네, 감사합니다.
최호선 선수는 시즌4 이후에 거의 약 5년 만에 16강에 오르셨습니다. 하지만 그런 공백이 전혀 느껴지지 않을 정도로 정말 중계진들도 얘기했다시피 다른 사람이 돼서 엄청난 경기력으로 16강에 오르신 것 같습니다. 먼저 5년 만에 16강에 진출하신 소감을 좀 들어볼까요?
네, 저도 이렇게 오래된 줄은 몰랐는데 그래도 한 3, 4년 된 줄 알았는데 5년까지 된 줄은 몰랐어요. 그래도 오늘 진출해가지고 다행이라고 생각합니다.
오늘 정영재 선수와의 태태전 두 번의 승리를 거두고 16강에 오르셨습니다. 많은 분들이 최호선 선수의 태태전 속도에 굉장히 놀라셨어요. 초반부터 완벽한 설계를 통해서 라인을 긋고 상대방을 압박하는 플레이, 이 태태전에 어느 정도 좀 설계를 해오셨던 걸까요?
근데 뭐 저그전이나 테란전 다 열심히 준비했는데 민철이가 올인할 걸 알고 있었어요.
알고 계셨어요?
네, 알고 있었는데 당해가지고 좀 화났었는데 그래도 1경기에서 좀 쉽게 이겨가지고 최종전도 좀 자신은 있었습니다.
정영재 선수의 경기를 좀 복귀해보면 레이스의 활용이 정말 놀랍다라는 생각이 들었습니다. 이 태태전에서 어느 정도의 깨달음을 얻어야 이렇게 상대방이 발키리를 모아도 레이스로 기습적으로 좀 발키리를 모두 제거하는 장면까지 최호선 선수는 다 계획이 있었구나라는 느낌이 들었거든요.
네네, 뭐
본인의 태태전 평가를 좀 해주시죠.
네, 태태전이요. 뭐 벌탱 레이스가 좀 요즘에 많이 쓰는데 전 제일 게이머 중에 제가 제일 먼저 썼다고 자부할 수 있거든요. 이거는 그래가지고 운영 방법이나 그런 거는 좀 옛날부터 했어가지고 내 자신은 있었어요.
사실 경기 전 인터뷰부터 최호선 선수는 오늘 경기에 있어서 좀 자신감이 있다라는 느낌을 받았는데 이 자신감에 확실한 근거가 있었구나라는 걸 또 경기력으로 보여주셨습니다. 그 뒤에는 진출이 확정되고 난 이후에 바로 무대로 뛰어 올라가서 정말 본인의 일처럼 축하해주는 동료들이 또 있었기 때문이 아닐까 싶습니다. 확실히 현장에서 이렇게 많은 분들의 응원을 느끼시니까 훨씬 더 힘이 되시죠?
네, 힘은 되는데 약간 끝나고 난 다음에 뭐 우승한 줄 알았어요. 제가 그냥 16강 진출한 건데 그래도 이렇게 좀 멀리까지 와서 응원해줘가지고 네 감사하죠.
많은 분들이 궁금해하십니다. 최우선 선수의 고점은 어디일까? 이제 16강의 진출의 벽을 다시 한번 뛰어넘으셨으니까 그 위를 바라보셔야 할 텐데 지금의 경기력이라면 사실 정말 저도 궁금해지거든요. 본인은 이번 시즌 어디까지 올라갈 수 있을 거라고 좀 생각을 하실까요?
네, 뭐 제 고점이 높다고들 하는데 저점도 엄청 낮거든요, 경기력이. 그래가지고 이제 좀 기복 없이 열심히 하면은 일단 목표가 16강 진출이었는데 4강까지는 가보고 싶어요.
시드 획득을 목표로 하고 있는 최우선 선수 이번 시즌이 굉장히 기대됩니다. 앞으로 시즌 14 최우선의 시즌으로 만들어 가기 위한 각오를 밝혀주시죠.
일단 이렇게 오랜만에 16강 진출해가지고 좋고 또 우리 원래 잘 안 나오는데 밖에 잘 안 나오는 걸로 알고 있는데 우리 이사장님 시조세 이사장님이랑 강민 총장님이 좀 멀리까지 응원해 주셨어요. 그게 약간 좀 놀랍기도 하면서 감사하고 이제 학생분들도 이렇게 응원 열심히 해주셔가지고 너무 감사합니다. JS 화이팅!
화이팅! 굉장히 얼굴은 쑥스러워 하시는데 이 기쁨을 감추지 못하는 최우선 선수의 모습이 굉장히 인상적이네요. 16강에서도 멋진 모습 기대하겠습니다. 조지명식 때 뵙겠습니다.
감사합니다.
자, 이렇게 24강 D조에서 두 번째로 16강에 오른 최우선 선수와 함께했습니다.
All right. This is it. Soulkey and sSak advance.
Yeah, it was a great day though. I had a lot of fun. And you know, JJabNewDe, man. I mean, I'm gonna have my eyes peeled for this guy. I do love seeing these new players come. I know we got a lot of new viewers every year here for ASL. It's never too late to start watching StarCraft, man. Best esport there ever is. And here's the round of 16 players so far.
Yeah, looking very strong so far. Of course, we've had a couple groups with no Protoss, so we'll be getting back into Protoss in the next one. Hopefully we can get some through. I do think there's a couple that are likely to, including this guy, Snow. For those of you who don't know, Inga is actually Haya.
Right.
A very well-known older Terran pro gamer. He was known for a little bit, making a lot of tutorials and stuff. I think he went to the military or something because he disappeared for a while, but he is back. And of course, Jaedong is in this group, so probably going to be the group that people are most excited about overall.
I think so. I do hope to see Jaedong advanced. You know, we've seen Flash dominate and really kill, but a lot of these players from the kind of older era, you know, pre-StarCraft 2 greats, we haven't seen them play up to, I think, the potential we've hoped. You know, like the Bisus and the Jaedongs. They haven't won an ASL yet, right? We've seen it for the Terrans. We're kind of waiting for some of these players. I don't know. I mean, I think for Tastosis, I mean, we're both very nostalgic from that time period. So it'll be interesting to see how Jaedong can perform. Snow, I think, is a shoo-in to move on no matter what.
Yeah, Snow looks like he's the strongest player in the group for sure, but I think Jaedong can make it through. I'm not too worried about him. I mean, these other players are dangerous, but if Haya makes it, that's a surprise for me. I think he's the least likely in this group.
I do not think he's going to make it out, but if he does, yeah, that would be a huge surprise. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for Group D. We're going to have Group E recorded and put out immediately. If you guys love what we're doing and you want to support what we're doing, go to patreon.com/ASL English. $5 a month goes a long way for everybody here that's working on this part of the show. Tastosis, any closing thoughts?
No, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.